Hello, hello, and welcome to a virtual FurSquared special charity stream for Rob Hogan. This is Libation Appreciation. I will be your host, Dragor. I am joined by two wonderful guests, Alkali Bismuth and quotation marks. I think that's just a spot.
Oh, okay.
And we'll see if we figure out how to use that or not. This has been a very wonderful and thus far overall successful technical test of what we are going to partially be doing for FurSquared. There's a message.
Yes, there is. I've got it. You keep going.
I want to see what it is. Echo from Dragit. Why is there an echo from us? Interesting. I don't know if that is our end. It could be our microphones.
Could be the microphones.
Is the echo unlistenable? QM?
No, I don't hear it on my end.
Okay. Oh, echo. This is the best tech test.
We got it. We got
Hooray, it. Hooray. So there are two toasts I would like to open this stream with, and the first one goes to Skylar Ringtail. You have taken on doing what is effectively video production with new complex software in a fast amount of time. Thank you so much. And when we are able to meet in person, we will figure out how to celebrate in person. But until then, infinite gratitude and thanks on behalf of myself and FurSquared to you, Skylar.
Good work, dude.
And then the second toast is why we are here, and that is to our dear friend Rob Hogan. I met him through FurSquared. If he was at the one LARP I was at,
he was not at that event.
He was not. So I did not have the fortune of getting to know him through Nero and LARPing, but I do have the fortune of knowing everything he's done for FurSquared and, of course, through our charity, Haws. So, Rob, we're very glad you're still with us. We know you have a long road of recovery. We're here to help you. Thank you for all of you done. Get well soon.
Cheers, Rob. I want to shoot this, but I know that you would shoot me if I did.
Yeah, we could have an old school prohibition shootout.
Good times had by most.
Last minute, Xander suggested that we get a speakeasy background, drop everything to black and white, and I accidentally Blues Brothers.
I'm
Blues Brothers.
I'm a New World Amish, apparently. But I run rum. QM?
And you have buttons.
That's QM, I'm getting kind of a flapper vibe. Am I right here? That's what you're going for?
Well, I mean, I am wearing bell bottoms, so I don't
knew
know.
So, all right, this is kind of a thing that I've noticed, because when cocaine happened in the 80s, whiskey as your symbolic status drink went away. So, like, what was a status drinker? Do you know a status drinker cocktail from the 70s? Do either of you happen to know?
QM, help me out on this one, but I think go ahead. Yeah, you're going to have a better idea.
God damn it. I was thinking of a couple.
I was thinking of the Aviator, or is that 80s?
The Aviation, that's earlier.
That's earlier. Okay.
That's earlier. That's 50s.
Oh, but those are the good times.
Yeah, no.
In the chat is saying gin drinks?
Gin was big in the 70s.
Gin was big in the set. Gin made a recurrence in the 70s. People started to experiment with botanicals. It was the 70s. You came straight out of the 60s with, people growing herbs of various sorts in their backyard, and they transitioned that into making homemade gin. And a lot of 70s drinks had gin in it because people wanted to try, kind of like how whiskey's coming into vogue right now, because a lot of these whiskeys sat in barrels for, 18, 30, 40 years, and people have started appreciating them. It was kind of similar in the 70s. People were finding old recipes and trying their own versions with different botanicals. Gin is juniper is the primary ingredient in gin, but like basically you can use any, and bathtub gin's used a lot of basically anything you had in the house.
Soap.
Coriander. Yeah, I mean, not soap, but a lot of people say that coriander tastes like soap, so maybe people did get that idea.
It has always amused the living heck out of me to know that juniper berries, a berry that was used to help with abortions in medieval times, were just like, let's make alcohol out of that. That is one of my favorite little gin factoids.
That's not an urban legend. That actually was a thing.
Juniper berries at the proper amount, which, by the way, they did not know the proper amount, would cause something to happen. I don't want to get disgusting, but yes, the answer is yes.
Also, please don't try that. See your safe Planned Parenthood if you need consultation. Don't chug juniper or gin.
No.
Oh, God.
Ingredients in absinthe are also abortifacient, so they
Wait, can you say that word again?
Abortifacents.
Huh.
Cheers. I'm just looking for reasons to drink this delicious scotch. Leave me alone.
All right, I'm going to put a little picture on the page to show briefly the 3 whiskeys I have provided for the mini tasting on this end. And QM, you will just have to imagine what these taste like, unless you already know. So
close.
These are the 3 in the carrying case that Alkali got as a birthday gift for me several years ago. Thank you, friend.
Of course, my friend.
He got me this because I have one for my grandparents, and I was very protective of it and kept getting nervous about it, bringing it to cons. So this one is the robust travel case I've been using. We just had this 12-year Smoky 12 Benriach, and then we're going to have a little bit of the Glendronach Revival, and then we'll finish on the Tastes Like Campfire and Wine.
That's a good one. That's an interesting mouthfeel.
Sorry, I am left-hand mouse.
Yeah, you're doing
putting
good.
Things back. Okay.
Not bad.
There we go.
Well done.
Harvey Wallbanger was the drink I was thinking of for the opulent 70s.
There we go.
That makes sense because my mom learned from her mom and would make a Harvey Wallbanger cake. I think you've had it once.
I have, and it was delicious.
You know what?
That sounds interesting.
So 2022, FurSquared in person. If I can still con my parents into going, which they threatened to volunteer and staff the last time.
I will take care of them. That is my new goal in FurSquared. I renounce all other positions, and I am Dragor Parent Handler.
Wait, so you're renouncing the bank account?
That is mine. Don't you ever touch it.
I will have my mom make several Harvey Wallbanger cakes for FurSquared.
Ooh. Let me get some paperwork in place, and maybe that'll be the dinner.
Right.
Now, QM, I have one more, because I thought this was 70s, but I'm kind of guessing here. Bloody Mary. Didn't that get its origins in the 70s? Because that became the morning drink of businessmen, but it could have been earlier. Help me out on this one.
I'm not exactly sure on the origins of a Bloody Mary.
Right?
I might have to look that up.
So to be clear,
chat, look that up.
Is the name as dirty sounding in origin as it implies?
Yes.
Okay.
That's also a guess, but it's alcohol, so I'm going to guess yes. Yes.
It was the 70s.
Yes.
All right. We're going to actually play off the audience for a second here. So let's jump over to the audience. Audience, you're going to give us some ideas for talking points by telling us this. The first drink that you remember, it doesn't necessarily have to be the first drink you drank. It has to be a drink that you to this day remember and is one of your earliest drinking memories. Tell us what it was and why. Obviously, you're in the chat, so it's got to be short and concise, and we'll probably go off of that. But until then, let's, Dragor, you haven't actually had the chance to talk. Your first drink that you can remember, what's the first one that pops into your head?
So I've told it a little bit. I basically took a bottle of Johnny Walker Black Label from my dad and sipped that every day of the month of February leading up to my birthday. So I didn't get drunk on it. I liked the smell, but the taste was another matter. And I didn't actually drink until the night of my 21st. And the first one I had, per recommendation of the bartender, Colin at the Red Lion in Chicago, gave me one of his favorites, and it was one of a bottling called the Singleton. And they do bottlings of different distilleries, things. I don't remember the distillery it was, but it had, this is going to sound nuts, for a single malt Scotch whiskey, it had a hint of honey and just the slightest weird little hint of mint. Like, it's like an anthropomorphic mint man farted 2 seats down and brushed the glass, and then it's the rest of your malty goodness. And that is the first full Scotch drink I ever had, and I can remember what it tastes like today.
Wow. That's awesome. That is awesome. Really quick, going back to the chat, Gothrin says, Bloody Marys originated from Paris to cater to Russian immigrants escaping during the revolution in 1920. I had no idea. That's super interesting. The rest of the chat, we have a question. Didn't Goldschlager cocktails become a thing in discos? That's just because the light reflected off the gold flakes, right, QM?
Oh, don't talk to me about Goldschlager. It almost killed me.
Ah! Okay, story time.
Yeah.
Story time. So, I was at a party in college. Somebody had made me a drink with Goldschlager in it. I did not realize that those gold flakes in it are real, and I am severely allergic to gold.
What?
Yeah. I ended up, my throat closed up.
This far? You and him, dude. You're both recessive genes.
You're the opposite of Jeff Bezos. You're allergic to gold.
Yes.
Love it. Love it. All right. For first drinks, we had Jeremy the Head Fox with Crown Royal and Dr. Pepper because college. All right, QM, what was that drink? That drink that, teenager, it's the first mixed drink that you had ready access to. You're just mixing it when you want a quick cocktail. What was that first mixed drink that you went to? Your go-to young person mixed drink?
I didn't really drink until I met Boozy. So I was 25, 26 before I actually started drinking. With any regularity. Like, I would have like a drink at a party, but I would probably have to say the first drink that I had like in a bar was a screwdriver. Like, I was kind of just like dipping my toe in the water because he was shooting back whiskey. At the time, I did not care for whiskey. It took me a little bit. Once I started drinking whiskey, once I started being able to take apart the flavors in it, and I could, I detect hints of cinnamon in this, or chocolate, or
Yes.
Once I was able to, then I really started to enjoy it. But before that, I was not really a drinker, so.
I get that. It took me a little while. Actually, this gentleman over here got me more into whiskeys and scotches. I knew of them, but I wasn't the biggest fan until he showed me some good ones. Which, speaking of that, what is this?
This is called the Glendronach 15, The Revival. I don't know if it's still being produced or not. This is expensive. I do not usually get this bottle. I got it. I usually get one nice bottle for the holidays, and this was this one. I wanted a solid staple. It's finished in some form of wine and or port casks, and so like if you have two axes and you have smoky on one side and sweet on the other, and then you have on the other axis very light and then very full body and in your face, I would describe this one as the best possible dead center whiskey. It has smoke, it has sweet, and it is a good balanced maltiness and goes down smooth. It is one of my all-time favorites, which is why I'm willing to spend too much money on a bottle of booze on it.
I hear you. Cheers, my friend. Cheers, QM.
Cheers. I have my iced tea over here.
What do you have? I might have asked this before, but I don't remember. A tea-based cocktail. This came up. I think Exendiv asked us about that previously.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Is there any tea-based cocktail you'd recommend to us and the chat?
An Earl Grey gin fizz. Probably.
Ooh.
So what all goes into that? I'm assuming the fizz is seltzer or something else.
The fizz is egg white. You take egg white. You get a shaker cup, ice, egg white, gin, and then you very strong brewed Earl Grey tea. Put it in the shaker, shake it, strain it over a cocktail cup, and the egg white interacts with the alcohol, and it kind of makes it like a stiff foam. So
it's super interesting. I like those things.
It is.
That's fascinating.
My favorite will always be the old school hot toddy. If you want a tea alcoholic drink, there's nothing like a good hot toddy. And that's just tea and whiskey and honey. Oh, honey. Honey.
And a pretty person named Todd?
He's such a sweetheart.
So I want to ask, because it's in your background, you have a wonderful shelf in screen behind you, QM.
Yes, I do.
And is there any bottle on there that you would like to point out that has some form of significance? Either like there's a story attached with it, or it's a rare bottle that you want to talk about, or just something that has a funny story attached?
Hold on, I've got 3.
Ooh. So while QM goes to look for that, we are doing this for charity. I don't know how we're going to be able to do it. I had grander plans than what ended up in effect today.
Dragor, what's the saying? I forgot the saying. I forgot the saying.
I will go with the Pepper Coyote song lyric. I could always say I tried.
It is, we try things. Sometimes they work.
Sometimes they work. We are going to have for FurSquared proper the ability for you all to call in and be able to show up and either ask a question or give a comment. That is too complex to handle right now, but watch out when we do announce another test of that. We're going to try to do that, but
we will be shooting for January for another test,
yes,
by the way.
If we get word either through the chat here or Skylar or others behind the scenes telling us, if donations come through before this panel is up in the next 38 minutes, I will do... You said don't shoot it, but that's actually what this bottle is for.
Oh, the 12-year?
I will.
Yeah, we can shoot.
I will hurt myself on the 12-year and get tipsy before this panel is done as you donate. And if there's a question, an admission, a toast you want us to do, we will do that. We'll try and figure it out. If you donate, please be honest and just drop it in the YouTube live chat, and we will react accordingly.
Sounds good to me. Now, QM, you grabbed a few bottles right there to tell us a story. Now, please, bottle and story.
Okay, bottle and story. This right here, let me get it a little closer to the camera so you can see. This is Nouveau Beaujolais. It is a French wine. It is the very first pressing of the Beaujolais grape. It comes out once. They do not release it in the U.S. until a specific day. November 17th is Beaujolais Day. They release it for sale nationwide on November 17th every year.
That's awesome.
It is a best drank young wine. Not most. I don't know. A lot of your French reds are the kind that you'd let mellow in the cellar or something.
Yeah.
But this one is one you want to drink right away. This particular bottle was the one I bought the year my son was born, my youngest son. So we had it that year for his not for his first Christmas, but for his first. We had it before his. I think it was his first Thanksgiving. We had it for, but we had. We got it that year, and I'll get him one, like a specific bottle when he turns 21. Then I have a cigar and a bottle.
Sweet.
I have a cigar and a bottle of wine saved for each of my. Speak of the devil.
He wants his bottle, Mom. Ma, give me the bottle. Ma, bottle.
Not yet.
Thank you so much for your donation. Cheers, friend.
This is like watching my hell from the outside. Good luck.
All right. This here is a bottle of Jefferson's aged at sea. This particular bottle of whiskey was taken on a boat and aged at sea. It is absolutely delicious.
So I have to ask, like, does that bit of brine come through on it?
Well, aged at sea, I gotta assume it's on a boat, so it's constantly moving just slightly. It is a liquid, so I guess does the barrel, the flavors from the barrel shine through a little bit more because of the gyration? Is that what they're doing, or is it just a fun little thing?
Well, it's a fun little thing, but they did it to see if it would affect the flavor, and it actually does.
That kind of makes sense because because the barrels are going to lose the angel's share. So as it's going, he really wants his bottle. He really wants that bottle.
How about you take Daddy's sweatshirt up to him, huh?
But yeah, I got to assume that what you lose from the angel's share with the slow rocking motion of the boat being a liquid, yeah, it would hit the top of the barrel. So you don't, and I'm assuming they're still rotating it. So yeah, that makes sense to me. It should get more of that barrel flavor coming through, whatever they age it in.
Yeah, charred bourbons are always aged in a charred oak barrel.
So
like to even be classified as a bourbon.
If that one's a first fill?
What was that?
Do you know offhand if that one's a first fill?
Yes.
Basically, with like in Scotch whiskey, for example, they rarely use first fill barrels. In fact, it's very common for Scotch whiskeys to buy up used American oak bourbon barrels to age their Scotch whiskey in it.
Now, see, that's the funny thing with it's the exact opposite with a bourbon. They'll only use the barrel once because they want.
I love that.
Before they take the barrel and age the whiskey in it, they char the inside of it with the torch, and it gives it that little bit of a smoky, charred flavor to it. But to be classified as a bourbon, it has to be a brand new charred oak barrel. Now there
once quarantine is over, I'm so glad you brought that up because I desperately need to take you, and if Boozy's with too, I hope you would enjoy it as well. Walking distance, like a few blocks from my condo, is the Koval Distillery. And not only do they do tours and tastings of their stuff, depending on what you buy, they'll do like a 12 bottle tasting where it's, 3 or 4 of theirs, and then they will do other local distilleries and notable distilleries in comparison.
Ooh.
So like they'll give you a couple of different tastings of different Corsair to go alongside their own, just to show you what different types of craft distillers are doing. You heard it here. I am going to treat you to that once it is safe and logistically able to do so.
So
I would enjoy that.
Go ahead,
and vice versa. If you get a chance to come out here, we will have to take you hopping on the. There are a lot of small distilleries in this area.
What is your favorite that you want to give a shout out to? That we should check out. Like, what's a distinguishing feature of you can only get it at this distillery?
It's my favorite show. I love this. Guys, welcome to what is this panel called?
This is called
it's okay, just
Libation
leave them under there.
Appreciation.
And Parenting 101.
And
We always
Parenting
combine
101.
these panels.
Hey, there has been less cursing on this panel with children
Fair enough.
than the Otherworld Stories one.
Fair
Did I
enough.
stop my count? 3?
We stopped at 3.
Gazzy, I love you. You got the first 2.
I'm learning. It's rare that it wasn't my first.
I
Thank you
know.
guys. Thank you for being worse than me.
Just leave him in here. That's fine.
While we're talking about the bourbons, I want to talk about
Tony
my
Gutcho.
favorite distillery that I've ever been to as far as tastings go. And it's not because it was the best scotch. It's not because it was the best tasting. It's because, to me, it was just a magical experience, and that was Door County. Have you ever been, QM?
No.
So that's when you come into town to have the scotch with Drager, you're going to do that one first. You experience the good stuff. Then we will take you to the location, because Door County has the Door County Distillery. A bunch of beautiful bottles of very fruity wine, very fun, very sugar-filled. But in the back, they have their new distillery where they make a wine, a bourbon, a few other things. But one of their things is a coffee bourbon. Now, it would have been cool just to try that, but we went out there. It was a tradition for myself and Javelin, John the Human. We would go out to Door County and get Christmas shopping done. We'd go there, and we'd buy all the wine we could, and we'd be done in one day until we drank all the wine and had to do it again next week. It was always a good time. But the first time we went and found out that they had a distillery open in the back, we walked right past the wine and into the distillery that nobody knew about. We walk in, a giant. Oh my God! Ah! It's wrestling time! Quick, give them both a shot of bourbon. They'll be down for the count. They'll be asleep.
No!
That's how you go. Then put me to sleep, and I turned out okay. Oh, I see your point now.
Wow.
What?
Wow. No. What's the thing? That's going to be a yikes from me.
That's a yikes. You never had a toothache and you got bourbon rubbed on your gums?
No.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Funny story about that.
Yeah?
Actually, when this one was a baby, he was teething and I couldn't get him to stop crying. My mom said, "Have you tried whiskey?" I didn't realize she meant rub it on the gums.
Oh no!
I put it in the sippy cup, and I essentially made the child a hot toddy.
That's basically what my parents did for me. That's how they got me to go to bed.
I'm fairly certain at that stage, my parents' reaction was to do 2 shots of whiskey and then give me a frozen waffle.
There you go. Oh, right. I remember frozen waffles in the gum. Well, we go to the distillery. We're literally the only people in the distillery portion of this building. There is a gentleman behind the bar. He's there to pour drinks. This is adorable. This is so adorable. And he wants to do his job. He is genuinely excited to have people back there with him. So he starts pouring us shots of everything this place had, then pouring us more shots of everything this place. And we hung out back there for an hour talking bourbons and whiskeys and beers and wines. But more importantly, the coffee brandy, which he easily poured us 3 shots of. We leave there. We are happy. We walk out of the building. We have our Christmas shopping done. And John looks at me and goes, I cannot drive. And I said, I cannot think. Luckily, the night before we were hanging out, we made a ham just for, we did a family dinner thing with my family and his. We turned those into hot ham and cheese sandwiches to take on the road. They were all in tin foil and in a little hot box. We're sitting on his car, listening to the radio, trying to sober up, eating these sandwiches when the news report comes in. Blizzard coming down from Canada, running through Door County into Chicago into the evening. Everyone stay indoors. It's the only way you'll survive. Like, oh. Across the street was a, a coffee shop. We run across the street, get the largest coffees we can and some ice, chug the coffees, QM turned into a baby. We chug the coffees, we're scarfing down ham and cheese sandwiches just until we're testing each other to see if we're sober. Walk in the straight line, John. Get out of traffic. So we're finally comfortable. And we get into the car and we are listening to the radio go crazy about the blizzard that is coming in. We get onto this is a 4.5 hour drive. Yeah. Get onto the highway and go. We are obeying traffic laws in quotations and just going. We got to my house, pulled into my driveway as the snow is starting to fall. John lived 5 minutes from my house. In those 5 minutes, it went from we were driving with a cloudy sky and a few flurries to he almost didn't make it home.
Holy cow.
That was the Chicago blizzard. I almost got killed in downtown by getting run over by a plow.
Wow.
That was the 4 foot of snow in Chicago day.
Oh, like when Lakeshore closed.
Yes, that was one. We did not. We weren't listening to the weather. We were totally uninformed because we suck.
Okay. For anyone who only heard of it and never saw it, look up Snowpocalypse Lakeshore Drive Chicago just to see how absolutely bananas that was.
That was like, an incredible moment.
People had to abandon their cars. Some of the shorter cars were completely covered with snow. Buses were just completely packed in. It was ridiculous.
Oh, they were required to leave their cars because it was not possible to move due to the lake effect snow blowing in off the lake and burying. People's cars were actually buried to the top. Police made them leave their cars and then got them away home. And you just got your car in 2 days when everything cleared up.
So on the clear up, like you work in Chicago, but at weird shifts. I live in Chicago, and the most surreal thing I ever saw was the commissioned fleet of construction and garbage dump trucks that had to dump truck out the snow out of the city.
Oh my God.
Like 24 hours. They kept having to do it because there was nowhere for it to go.
Oh my God.
I kept watching dump trucks full of snow driving to get it out. There was that much. It was surreal and cool.
That is really neat. No, so
how you doing, QM?
Not quite. We're almost there.
We cannot hear you, QM. And I don't know if that's a you thing or an us.
We'll get there. Okay, we're working on it. So before then, Dragger, while we're trying to get everything set up, let's go to a favorite of mine. Let's go with 5-second stories.
Okay.
You're going to have to do a 5-second story now.
A 5-second story.
5 seconds. You just do a story. We can go for it. So, Dragger, my first question to you is, that time you regretted drinking, you only have 5 seconds to tell the story, though. That time you regretted drinking.
Scotch, rum, absinthe.
He's alive. He's alive. I checked. Didn't think that was going to be the case.
Hey, Boozy.
Boozy is helping. All right, so rum, scotch, absinthe.
No. Scotch, rum, absinthe. And technically, it was 2 different shots of rum before the absinthe.
You are not human.
I felt the full repercussions of those poor decisions.
A long time ago, myself and Mouse started making our own cocktails, and we come up with names first and then came up with the cocktail. And we had a few names. The Mayan calendar is the one that I truly wish we could have come up with something for, because we always thought the Mayan calendar was such a great name, but we never found a drink worthy. The Atomic Rainbow, though. The Atomic Rainbow. Martini glass. On the bottom, a splash of grenadine. That bright, that red that just pops out at you. Layered on top of the grenadine, a good shot full of blue curacao. Nice blue, vibrant, red, blue. The next shot on top of that, Goldschlager. Goldschlager layered on top, a nice thin layer. On top of that, layered on top, Jaeger. Jaeger floating on the Goldschlager. And on top of that, at the top of a martini glass, the most surface, trying as hard as you can to make it as thin as possible, Bacardi 151, and set it on fire. The Atomic Rainbow. We made it once and decided never to do it again because setting a martini glass on fire is precarious at best. And especially because alcohol flames, by the way, this is for anyone out there who has never set a drink on fire. Number 1, actually don't do it. It's not worth it. It's literally not worth it. Number 2, bear in mind, if you are doing it during the day, in a lit room, any place with a lot of lighting, the flame is invisible. It is on fire. You can't see the flame. Very important. Nope. Nobody died.
Can they hear you?
QM, try saying something.
Hello.
Yeah! We hear you. Hooray. Welcome back.
Yes!
Welcome back, friends.
I was just waiting for you to tell me
All right.
I can hear you before I left.
Okay, yeah.
I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm wearing split pajama pants and a t-shirt.
Yeah, just careful walking out.
Yeah, I mean, how am I going to get out of the room now? The ass of these pants are thrown out.
This is my favorite episode of anything I have ever watched. This is the best.
Boozy, how am I going to get out of here? The ass of my pants are blown out, Badger.
I'm just saying, if that's not rounding out the stream total to the next $100, I don't know what is.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, I love you guys so much.
If the next donation comes through, the next thing I'm going to do a little bit of a shot of is a cask strength bottle.
Ooh, which one's that?
This is the Laphroaig. Okay, I put the picture up. Let's put the picture up again, because I'm going to pronounce it, and it's going to sound counterintuitive. I'm trusting this pronunciation from someone who knows far more than I. The middle bottle. The top one, as far as I'm aware, is called Laphroaig. Now, that middle word there, I am told, is pronounced with a Scottish accent, car chase.
Car chase.
I do not know how to pronounce it with a Scottish accent. I need to get Foxamore to record this for me.
We're going to need Fox on this one.
This is cask strength. It is finished in port and wine casks. Laphroaig, I always say the terrible joke, but I love it anyway. Laphroaig is liquid campfire in a glass. It tastes like Boy Scouts, but not like that. Got the effect I wanted. Huzzah! So I will put that image away.
That image will never go away.
Yeah, the one in your mind is there to stay. Good luck. But yes, this is liquid campfire in a glass with a lot of port and wine notes. So it gets that smoke and savory and sweet all together in a way that I think works. So whatever donation comes through next gets to punish me with that, because usually I dilute this, and I won't for that one.
Oh, honey.
What? Look, just because you're like, I did a shot of 151, and then all of us go, you dumbass.
Yeah.
That's not you dumbass. That's just, oh, honey.
My lungs can be set on fire.
Check the link That means check the GoFundMe. Let's go.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
I did not know it was that high. That makes me very happy.
That is wonderful. Thank you. Sincerely, thank you all. Hasn't refreshed yet. Okay.
They will tell us on our screen, Skylar, if you could keep us informed. And by the way, again, a huge shout out to Skylar, who has been feeding us information in a way that we can. Dude, you're doing great. Thanks again.
Yes, thank you.
And
okay, I just want the smallest splash of that, by the way.
Okay. We're going to do that. QM, here's a question for you. If you can figure something out, what's a fact or a tidbit or something about cask strength whiskey that a lot of people don't know? Like, why would you get that or not get that over something that's been reduced to 46, 43, or even 40%?
Well, cask strength is, despite the name, it isn't the strength it comes out of the cask at. If a true cask strength would be like drinking fire water, it would be drinking like 151 bourbon.
I'll be right there.
No.
Bourbon? Oh no.
Because it comes out of the cask at an insanely high proof. But cask strength is as close to pure out of the barrel as you can get in a bottle. It's very little diluted. It's not as filtered as the say the 40%, the 60%. It's a little bit so it's a little bit less filtered, little bit less diluted. You get more of what's in the barrel. You get more of because it doesn't go through the filtration, through the extra filtration, extra distillation. You get more of what it was. You get more of the flavor of what it was made from. You get more of the grain, the corn. If it's a wheated bourbon, you get more of the wheat from it. The nice like smoky sweetness. If it's more rye, you get more of that nutty spiciness. So cask strength is nice if you are a connoisseur. You like to be able to taste like bourbon in its purest form.
The refresh just came through. Thank you, QM, for that info. And cheers to Eddie the Weather Fox for your donation. I'm going to do my favorite silly toast for this.
What do you got?
This one's from my dad. If you've seen him at FurSquared, he uses the Lord of the Rings name on his badge name, Strider.
Yes.
So thank you to my dad, Strider, for this toast. Over the lips, through the gums, look out, stupid, here it comes.
That's your dad. I will never forget drinking with your father in Las Vegas. Taking him to a craps table and explaining the entire game to him. And after being there for a good hour playing the game, him watching. When we do craps, I like to do a big team game, because if you don't play craps, you lose a lot of money very fast at craps. You can make a lot of money very fast. But for the most part, the more money you put into it, the better the game is just for your personal enjoyment. So yeah, you're going to go through money a little bit quicker if you're losing. So we do it as a team, a conglomerate. And we all put in and we all give suggestions, but one person's at the table. And his dad was doing that with us. And his dad said, I think I understand the game. I'm going to try it on my own, but I don't want to be at a table with a $5 minimum. Like, well, there's the electronics crap game that looks like the old Trouble game. It's got the pop it dice in the middle. But it had no minimum. You could put in $1 and play with pennies. So cool. We all went over there and his dad starts playing. I put in my money. He puts in his money. We're playing for a good 5 minutes. And while sitting next to me, he goes, gosh darn it, but not those words. And I go, oh, how much money did you lose? And I look over and he has chips all over the board. And as he craps out, he goes, $1.13.
Uh-huh.
He played with pennies and nickels. I'm sitting over there with everything that I took from the last table, a few $100. He lost $1.13. He's just like, oh, I can't believe this game. It's one more time.
So before my dad retired, he was in the tech sector, and one of his employees, like they were just shooting the breeze or what have you, and he was just bemoaning certain like purchase choices to make. And one of his employees says to my dad, Strider, you're so cheap you could make Lincoln scream.
That's great.
And my dad comes home and tells my family this as like a badge of honor.
It is a badge of I respect that.
I know you do.
It's a good way to be, man.
Gambling is the only place, Alkali, where your love of logic and math and numbers goes out the window.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. That is actually fair.
We do budgeting for FurSquared, and part of the budgeting for FurSquared, to make this on topic, is like the alcohol gifts. And it's picking like, well, do we really have to get that bottle? And you're talking like a $5 difference.
Yes, I am.
And then we go to Vegas, and Xander and I are watching as every ounce of reason goes out the window, and in comes a parade of superstition and BS.
Absolutely. That's how Vegas works.
You and Boozy are forbidden to go gambling together ever.
Oh, I have curtailed the problem. I bring in my cash and then give them my wallet. It works fine. I can't go to the ATM. It works absolutely okay.
That's how we work it out when we go. I go and like eat because like the buffets are super cheap, and you know I don't like gambling. So you know I have fun with the food. He goes and gambles, and then he's like, I lost it all, and then we can go home.
I'll give you the nicer one.
Oh, I appreciate that. No, I hear that. There's something beautiful about Vegas. There's a camaraderie around the craps table, and I think that is exasperated by craps is one of those games that the casino knows. Other than slot machines, where table games are concerned, craps is a good moneymaker for casinos. So they do, as far as I know, this used to definitely be the case. I think it still is. They always send the drink ladies around with drinks to craps tables first. So usually what you end up with is a table of people either winning or losing, but very intoxicated. So when you get a hot shooter on a craps table, it is like having your own mini FurCon. Everyone's slapping each other on the back, lower sometimes if they're really drunk, and you're all good friends. It's a good game.
It is. Sorry. I'm also double duty as just checking and making sure things are good.
Yeah, I'm elongating some stories when out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, all right, he's dealing with crap, and we're dealing with fruit flies.
No, you're dealing with craps.
Oh, yeah.
One of the big things we look forward to is, so long story short, Tycho, the founder and con chair of Biggest Little FurCon, BLFC.
Such a sweet.
We meet through Furry Convention Leadership Roundtable. It's a purely the community put together this meet to help cons solve problems together once a year. So we meet Tycho through that. We just chat, hit it off, and then Tycho just flies out from, I forget if he lives in Nevada or not, comes to FurSquared specifically to check out our little con, and we were so flattered.
He is such a sweetheart.
And that was the year we were experimenting with emoji on the badges for the first time, so it didn't quite go right. So Tycho says, and the badge he wanted was a badge that had a single emoji and eggplant, because we're that type of immature.
That's right.
So Tycho says to me before he departs, hey, I expect you to deliver that badge to me at BLFC. So that's how I go to my first BLFC. I go and I staff it, and I have one of the best times of my life. It's one of the most unique conventions out there.
We love you, BLFC.
So after I go, I'm ranting and raving to Dragget House here. Y'all got to go to BLFC. There's a casino in the hotel. So
me and Dez almost missed a panel because we were on a hot streak. It was one of the hardest decisions I have ever made. Professional performer on a hot streak. What do you do?
I'm shocked you showed up.
I had to. I will never insult
you
the
say
people who
never.
want.
And
I would
in the back
never.
of your mind, you could be at a table and go, if I stay, this will be the best furry donation ever.
That's fair. That's
See,
fair.
I know you. I know how your gambling brain works.
Damn it. Damn it.
Iggy says 7's out. So we've got about 7-ish minutes left. I forgot to get the link. If someone in the chat can get it, right at 4 after this is Uncle Kage's wine stream. So we do not want to overlap with that. Uncle Kage has done absolutely wonderful things, both on his own and through Anthrocon for charity. So we wouldn't dare step on his toes. If you are curious and interested and haven't checked it out before, go check out the Uncle Kage's wine stream. We'll try and provide a link. Again, this has been for Rob Hogan, and we're having fun and amusement, hopefully to allow you to enjoy yourself and enjoy yourself such, if you can safely, give and donate for a good cause, because he's a great person. And we look forward to seeing him in person, if possible, at FurSquared 2022.
There's so many people I'm looking forward to seeing in person again. So many people.
On that topic, I do like to draw silver linings out of bad situations. So for each of us, I would like to ask, what is an unexpected positive or thing you've been able to do that you otherwise wouldn't have because of quarantine? I will go first while you think. For myself, it's the full transition into work remote. I'm very lucky that my job basically continued as is without having to go in. And if you've seen me do it or not, Xander sometimes joined me. On my lunch break now, I get on my bike and stream and BS, because I learned about myself. I'll skip the exercise if there's nothing to hold me accountable. So if I do that dumb thing and say, I'm going to stream while being on a bike, gosh darn it, my brain goes, don't you dare blow that off.
Yep.
And that is how I have been increasing my fitness. I'm going to call it out in the chat. Headfox and Jeremy, that Headfox says, quarantine ended up getting him back into the fandom. Thank you so much. You've been a pleasure to have around. You have had wonderful anecdotes to share. Tezcat says, work from home full week, not just weekend.
Good for you, Tezcat.
And make no mistake, I do want to call this out. I am fortunate that my job has been able to just transition to remote. This isn't, it's a humble brag, but it's not really a humble brag. It's luck. I am lucky to have the job I do, and therefore I have gone out of my way. Things I budget for savings, I have not been saving this quarantine. That entire savings budget has been dedicated to help friends, help charity, help family. A lot I see on Twitter, a lot of art streams that are like emergency commissions open. Not only do I go and do that, I try and throw more at it that I can, without putting myself in a bad spot. It's no secret I have medical issues. I never know when that's going to scare me. But that's kind of what we always say. When you can give. I always try to do that. I'm lucky to be able to not just work, but get on my bike and stream with y'all and be an idiot. Thank you so much for everything you all do when you show up, when you donate. It's made this quarantine, at least for me, a lot more livable. Cheers.
Cheers. QM?
I have to say, although I haven't had much free time during quarantine with the house full, I've been able to let go of a lot of things that I wasn't able to previously, because now with that we're all stuck in the house, and it was starting to grate on me that like the kids were pulling out stuff that like we hadn't used in forever, and it's like, okay, well, why are we holding on to this? So I was able to purge a lot of stuff from the house. It made me happy. And I'm able to make the house what I want it to as well. We did not get the house in the greatest condition. Our landlord cheaped out everywhere, so I'm looking forward to getting it like where I want it.
Very cool. I got to go with the easy one. I got a little backwards during quarantine. I got a lot less free time, but I'm using it better. So quarantine has actually taught me to use my free time a little bit better. And in regards to that, I'm on the same boat as Eddie. I have been using this time to really up my cooking game. And right now there is a dissected apple pie sitting inside that we need to bake. I've got a loaf of bread that's going to be rising shortly. Balsamic vinegar. Like, we're having a lot of fun with food. So I got fatter.
So we're going to throw to the FurSquared ad at the end. In this chat, the GoFundMe for Rob is pinned on the FurSquared Live page. It is there. You'll see the link all over. For the final toast I would like to give, and I learned both versions of this. There's the core one, and then the addendum from the Dorsai. And the toast is as follows. There are many people. I hope the original toast doesn't impact you as much, but if it does, it's a point of remembrance. So the first part of the toast is to absent friends.
To absent friends.
Tommy, I hope you are having an easier time now than you did before. Thank you. The important second half of the toast that the Dorsai added that is incredibly meaningful is a toast to you all, to you Alkali, to you QM. Thank you for present company.
To present company.
We're going to throw to the ad at the end and then go check out Uncle Kage's wine stream. This has been a surprise charity stream for Rob Hogan, doubled with a FurSquared technical test. Thank you again to Fur, to Furion and Ashcore for helping wrangle all of this. And of course, Skylar, you are amazing for everything you did for this. Thank you and have a good rest of your day.
Good night, everyone.
An amazing breakthrough in the field of telegraphical fursuits. Conglomerate scientists have created a dirigible fursuit. Look at this fellow here. Fur was volunteered to become the latest vulcanized rubber for our convention attendees' amusement. Show us a trick, Fur. Aw, isn't that cute? FurSquared needs you! The greatest convention of the Roaring 2.0s is planning its mega telewire event for this February. Do you draw or sling ink? We're planning a virtual artist alley. Got something to sell, your fellow fuzzies? We're putting together a virtual dealer's den. More details will be published online and in cyber newsprint and telegraphic offices all over the Roaring 2.0. We are still accepting submissions for online panels and other discussions on the wire. Got an idea you think people would like to participate in? Or performance to play? Wire your messages direct to our programming staff. Submissions are open. Don't be a Reuben. Get your info on this Sockdolliger. Do that and you'll be riding the trolley at light speed.
Silver Gattoman, he bought me a coffee. Silver Gattoman, here is the song for thee. He likes to video all the panels at the cons. You You should go and watch them whether they are short or long. Silvergatoman, you video that's not a jibe. All of you go to his YouTube channel and like and subscribe.